This video shows the constructions of the Rocky Mountain tiny cabin. We started with a blank trailer and we put OSB plywood on it. We drilled holes into the frame and the wood, and we screwed the plywood down to the frame and we glued it. And then we put a 2x4 frame laid sideways down onto the wooden frame, and we covered it up with OSB on top, and as you can see, we insulated the bays so that we have a nice insulated solid floor that made it easy to construct the walls and put it on, as well as keeping the floor warm and very solid. We don't have to worry about the trailer leaning over and pulling off of the frame because it's very firmly attached. We used primarily 2x4 framing, and we used 2x6 here and there, and we used it to cantilever out, providing both the header for the windows and also the framing for the lofts inside. The roof line was designed so that one wall would be normal size and then the other wall would be really tall, and we could put more windows on it, provide for a lot more solar gain, and also give a lot more headroom in the loft when somebody sits up. A peak in the middle of the loft doesn't allow a person to sit up normally and naturally. Corrugated tin was selected for the roofing material. It's very inexpensive and very durable. We used a weather vapor for the exterior all the way around, and even on the bottom underneath the plywood as it attaches to the trailer frame, so it'll keep it dry while traveling on the road. The windows were vinyl double pane throughout for great insulation value. They were 4x4s to allow for a fire code egress. The siding was painted on both sides and painted before installation. That's to keep it from warping and provide longer life. We used a high-grade UV-free stain, and you can see it just looks beautiful when it's placed on the cabin. I'm using cabin now because it's transforming from just a trailer to a cabin. The wood is a Doug fir that was custom milled into a 5/8 beveled shiplap. It allowed us to put the siding directly on the framing and not have to put plywood all the way around and increase the weight dramatically. Everything we did, we tried to consider the weight ramifications and the strength ramifications. It's very important to keep the weight of the trailer as low as possible. Moving inside, you can see that we insulated all the walls, and we used some strapping to provide for some shear strength without using heavier materials such as wood. The interior walls are covered with a 4x4 1/4-inch thick underlayment. Again, a unique solution. It's very light, very durable, and looks good, especially when you see the finished product with a clear lacquer seal. Steel wool was used to fill in gaps to keep rodents from entering the cabin. We even insulated the loft framing both inside the cabin and where it is cantilevered outside to provide a nice, solid, warm, non-drafty loft sleeping experience. We designed some stairs with an open tread system so as to keep it visually open, and we used an actual staircase instead of climbing up the wall or storage blocks, figuring it would be easier for the humans and their pets to access the sleeping lofts. We see the cabin starting to come together, and you can see that we used corrugated tin on the walls to cover it from water splashing from the tub and the sink. We chose a stock tank to use for the shower pan and tub. It can also double as a playpen for your grandkids, even a sleeping place. Power is provided by solar panels powering two deep cycle batteries and a 20 amp charge controller and a 750 watt inverter. All of the lighting is powered directly from the battery, DC lighting, LED, and the outlets are converted to 110 through the inverter. Inside the cabin, we have appliances. We have a propane space heater, self-vented. We have a 2-burner cooktop that's propane. We have a tankless water heater that is propane, and the stock tank for the tub. And then we have the sawdust toilet, and I'd love to tell you about that. The second loft uses a ladder to access it, and it does slide back and forth, and it is also removable. The solar panels can be placed outside and moved around with the sunshine, and you can park whichever direction you want and move them onto the other side of the tiny cabin if you want. Each loft has its own LED reading lamp. The toilet is a Jenkins sawdust toilet system. It's a 5-gallon bucket inside a wooden box. You remove the bucket when you're done with it and pair it up with a human error compost system or dispose of it just as you would with an RV. Peat moss, coconut coir, or kitty litter or sawdust are used to control the odors. You put that in the 5-gallon bucket each time you use it, and it works splendidly. We finish up with a close-up view of the kitchen and the tankless water heater powered by propane.